Privacy professor Rebecca Herold is joining us. Is this the time of year, Rebecca, that we need to really keep in mind what we're buying, isn't it?
Yes, there are so many new high-tech things out there, gadgets, and they're all the smart things. You know, smart things means that they're collecting data that you may not realize it's collecting, it's sharing. It's scary, and there's a lot of things out there. There are many that are anticipated to be really big sellers this year.
As you say, they're on the tops of everybody's Christmas list. I would assume so as well.
They are, and you know, I thought I'd go over some of them.
All right, good idea.
And point out that, you know, they're kind of fun, definitely, but be aware of the privacy and the security risks. So the first one is, you might have heard of Hello Barbie.
Hello Barbie.
Hello Barbie. So Hello Barbie is really being pushed by Mattel to get back in the Barbie doll market. And what she can do is she can talk with your children. And you can tell if she's recording if her belt buckle is lit up. Ooh. And if you light up her belt buckle, everything that is being said by the child or anyone in the vicinity is being listened to by a cloud service, and she's pre-programmed to actually say 8,000 things currently, but it's growing in reaction to what the child says. Jeez. But it's storing all of this because the idea is, well, let's have a virtual friend for your child. But there are some concerns with this.
That's unbelievable.
Now, is this through your phone, your computer?
There's an app.
There's an app.
So there's an app that communicates with it, and then that data is sent up into the cloud. So the app might be on your phone currently, but I read that they're also going to have them on laptops and computers.
So unless it's activated, you're not hooked up to the cloud, is that correct?
Well, if it's the light is on, it's collecting and shooting it up there.
Okay.
So that's how it tells that it's actually collecting it. And this can be great, of course, because, you know, kids, if you have kids, you know that they're playing and role playing. But just think of some of the things they say, maybe about their family, maybe about themselves, maybe they're being, you know, playing pretend, but the person up in the cloud doesn't know that they're playing pretend. And here's something that a lot of people are concerned with. The child doesn't know that all of this is being recorded. They just think that the doll's, you know, talking with them. Oh, wow. So a lot of people are afraid. Right now we're already thinking, well, anything you put up into Facebook or social media is kept forever and could impact you further down the line. Well, just think now, all of this data could be kept and impact you further down the line also.
I see parents all over scratching it off their list.
Is there a way to keep it, you know, so you know when it is, like, is there a security button you can push or something like that so you can keep it a little more safe?
Well, the only thing is to make sure that that light is off on her belt buckle.
And is she, I know we need to get to some other toys, but is it, like, I know my phone, if I say, hey Siri, it clicks on and it records what I say. But only if I say that. Is there something that you say to the Barbie, or is it a button you push?
It's a button you push.
Okay.
So, you know, that can be something too that security experts said, well, this can be hacked into so the light isn't on. And there's other toys.
That's true, yeah.
There's other dolls. Kayla is another one. Actually, a hacker hacked into her and made her say really creepy things to the child or who was pretending to be. There's also a teddy bear.
As I say, we're just seeing a teddy bear there,
So that's another one that's on the similar thing. So these are some really cool toys, but before you get these, think about the impact and make sure that they're turned off when, you know, you're not actually using them. And also, you might want to be in the room with the child while the child's playing with the toy. So, you know, if something is said, you know, that might be taken out of context, you can inject your own comment.
Because you know somebody's gonna have a lawsuit down the road.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's one thing. So keep that in mind. Drones.
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 What's wrong with a drone?
Well, drones can do really cool things, and they're being sold all over. And we just purchased a drone. My family did because we want to check it out. You know, they can do a lot of really cool things. There's estimated 700,000 to 1 million will be sold as gifts this year. But you have to keep in mind that there are not only safety concerns, and the FAA is right now working on a task force with the Department of Transportation to create rules, and those are supposed to come out November 20th, so just a few days.
Nothing's more scary than a government task force.
That's right. But it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what it says.
It's going to come down and they're going to be like, you can't use these anymore, and everyone got them for Christmas.
Yeah, well, maybe. But, there is a registration that it is implementing. So if you get a drone, you're going to have to register so they know.
I'll get right on that.
And there's already been, it's interesting because already over 100 reports a month come just from drones being too close to airplanes. This is just airplanes. But then privacy is another thing. If you get a drone, please, be sensitive to your neighbors and those in the area around you, because you don't want them thinking you're
over
spying.
the pool.
Yeah, like on,
remember when it was fun to have the remote control airplane, Jason? But not anymore.
Well, Modern Family, I think they even did a thing, did they, coming down? But just last month, there was actually a man down in Kentucky. His daughters were out backyard sunbathing, and they come running in. They said, "Dad, there's a drone over the backyard," and he got concerned, so he took his gun out there and he shot the drone out of the sky.
There you go.
And then the drone owner called the police and complained because he was shooting inside city limits. So he actually had to go to court, and the judge heard this, and the judge said, no, this was justified because it was a violation of privacy. But the drone owner was saying, well, it was up too high to be an invasion of privacy. So this is really early in what we're going to see.
Keep that in mind when it comes to
regulations
drones.
coming down. Okay, so what kind of fitness band that's going to hurt us?
Oh my gosh, we already have over 10% of the population has fitness bands, and this is estimated to grow to over 34% in just a couple of years.
All right.
So
note to self: buy stock in fitness band.
But only buy stock in the ones that actually have good security and privacy, because different researchers have found that 70% of these fitness bands lack proper security and privacy controls, meaning that a lot of them don't require authentication to get to the data. And just think of the data.
I don't want people knowing how fat I am.
I was going to say, know how many steps I walked today?
And some of them can tell your heart rate, it can tell your perspiration, it can tell GPS where you're located, it can tell many things that might be interesting.
I think that's the key,
to employers,
the location one, or criminals, burglars, where you're at.
And employers right now are actually giving their employees these fitness bands in order to get a discount on health insurance.
Free fitness band.
But he might get access to your data.
How about these smartwatches?
Oh,
look at that one. The one in the background, that looks pretty fancy.
That looks nice. But again, these are not regulated at all, and these collect all the same type of data that the fitness bands do generally, but then they collect even more because it's seeing what you're looking at and collecting with your smartwatch. A lot of them can record what's in the vicinity and have that. So make sure if you're getting one of these that you look at the settings and set them appropriately. They're cool, but you got to make sure they're right.
Now, everybody loves
cars.
talking about smart cars.
Yes, and this is something that a smart car can tell. Are you driving too fast? Are you wearing a seatbelt? Did you do something dumb when you're out on the road? So it's recording everything you're doing. So make sure that you check what the settings are when you get one of these, and also make sure that you realize that there does have to be a privacy notice given. In fact, lawmakers have a bill right now that wants to require every car manufacturer that makes a smart car to have a privacy notice posted, or they'll get a fine if they don't.
All right, now last thing we want to touch on.
One of the most popular things I've heard about right now is the Echo.
Well,
this is so cool until I found out what you're going to talk about.
Think about this. If you plan on purchasing one of these for somebody.
Because with these, what it does, it listens to see if you say Alexa or Amazon as the trigger, but and then it starts recording. But just to hear that trigger, it has to be listening. Now they say, well, it only listens for a snippet, and if it doesn't hear it, it's not recording it. But actually, it's recording enough to be able to hear what you're saying. So it's recording everything you're asking about, and think of the conversations that you're having. Think about what you're asking it to look up for you, you know?
Right.
Everything is going to be stored in the cloud server, and you can go out and delete it, but you have to go out there and delete it. And if you don't, they're going to collect that data, and they're going to share it with third parties, because you know, marketing data is a huge thing. So if you get one of these, what I think you need to do is every week tell Alexa, say, hey Alexa, remind me to delete my data out of the cloud. And then that way Alexa can make sure that you're keeping it deleted. But even then, after it's been shared with the third parties, it's out of their control. So you still need to be careful about the conversations that you're having around it.
So before you just run out and buy that smart device, you might want to think twice about it. Think twice,
and if you have questions about these or other smart gadgets, why, you can click the question mark. And I also have some startups I'm really excited about out under my Symbus sites, so you can go out there and ask me questions. And I also have a lot of things planned for Data Privacy Day in January, so that's going to be exciting to tell you about when that comes up.
Privacy Prof on Twitter.
Privacy Prof on Twitter, yes.